100%, which is the self development program that I'm freely giving out on this live on YouTube. Sometimes we think that we are surrounded by problems on a daily basis and that there's no solution to it. When we forget that our brains, out of habit, and I might go beyond, but let's just leave it at habit. Scientifically proven, our brains are made to survive, not to view compliments. And surviving means being brutally honest and exaggerating what is bad and ignoring what is good, even if it means that it's good for you. So when people say that they do or that they don't have uh, negativity in their lives, they're talking about their brains in specific. That their brains don't give them good reasons to move forward and neither bad reasons to stay where they are. By that I mean, when you have a problem, you usually think in one of the following: it's impossible for me to move forward, so I stay where I am at, or it hurts too much, or the answer to my problem, which is my own ego, it's too hard on my pride, so I would rather stay in the mud than try to get the job done and find an actual solution for my life. So, with those premises, we might need to wonder, what are we doing with our lives? Think about it. Why would I want to move forward? Let me set up a hypothetical problem that everybody has gone through. Why should I take a shower in this winter? Oh, the water is cold. Oh, no, there is no enough water. Why don't you use tap water? Why don't you warm it up at the stove? Maybe you don't have anything of those, but you know you need a shower. That's a hypothetical question. Now, switching up to a more realistic question. Let's say that you need to get a job because you're starving. Maybe you're 17 years old and you're almost gonna be 18th and your parents told you that you were gonna get thrown out. The typical US citizen problem when they come of age, which hurts my heart, but that's the reality that you live in. I mean, I can only imagine my father doing that to me. I don't even know what I would think. So, buckle up because I have 10 steps on how to achieve or resolve a problem from the root. Not that it comes back at you later on. Number one, acknowledge the problem. Know the correlations. If you even need to speak with a professional, not necessarily a doctor or psychologist, it could be an actual coach that has overcome what you are looking to overcome yourself with real results, not fake gurus that sell you a course. Somebody real. And you don't even need to pay for that. YouTube has many people who has achieved those solutions and give for free what others charge you and not necessarily give you a proper results. So think clearly on that. You literally determine what is the root cause problem of the situation that you're going through. For example, I in real life have a situation with falling asleep a lot, even if I sleep well. What do I need to take into consideration? If I do exercises on a morning day basis in my house, I don't need to go to the gym. I don't have the money for that. And even if I did, do I have the time? So I do what I can in my house. If I do a proper workout with whatever I have at hand, YouTube, any app that can for free give me a routine, not exaggerate because I'm not a coach to get muscles. I'm just trying to find a solution to not falling asleep in my work. Then I am resolving the root cause with a practical solution that it is under my hands. Number two, own it. Be responsible because we are responsible on how we react to everything in life. and how people treat us in consequences. Think about it for a moment. When was the last time that somebody disrespected you and you, out of politeness, were saying, "Oh, yeah, don't worry, take it as a joke," because you didn't want to hurt the other's feelings? But what about your feelings? And I've been thinking about that very seriously lately because I'm the type of guy that wants to be nice to everyone and try to make sure that everybody is a friend, like SpongeBob, that he literally ignores when people are bullying him because he lives in a fantasy in his own mind. Do I want to be SpongeBob in real life? Or am I going to cope with a Squidward? Maybe I'm the Squidward with myself, but I act nice with the other people because I feel alone. I don't know how to be okay being alone, because I'm looking for people who bully me to feel that I belong to some place when what they're doing is just using me, like when you go to a restaurant, that you use a paper blanket and clean your face and you throw it into the trash. We are that paper. No, man. We need to value ourselves. And sometimes not listening to the negative thoughts in our minds is the number one step. Believe in yourself. Stop doubting yourself. And if you need somebody to actually help you, find one who actually has overcome properly your problem. Good afternoon, Wilmer. Now, moving forward, we need to grow our mentality. As Einstein said, that we cannot solve a problem from the same level that it was created, we need to think seriously. What is the problem? That was step one. And by being responsible is acknowledging that any result you get is your responsibility. If you fail, it's your responsibility. If you succeed, it's your responsibility. I read a book that I couldn't pay for, so I had to find the audiobook and I had to make do with that, which is called The Compound Effect from Darren Hardy. It is on Amazon. Let me show you how much it's worth. I won't show it on the live, but I have my computer next to me. This is what it says here. It says that book is $12. Do you think, honestly, that I have $12 in my bank account to spend on a physical book? Many of us, even if we do, don't have the luxury. We have to call that a luxury in our lives to spend 12, ignoring the bad word, dollars in a book that will actually benefit us. Do you think that is life or survive? So we need to take that into consideration when we want to resolve something. And that book, on the whole book, it said, on the third chapter, I remember more or less, it says, if you have to throw away this book and just stay with one thing, stay with this. You are ultimately responsible for the results you get. If somebody mistreats you, you are responsible for how you react or how much confidence you allow that person to have in your life. If you have success, you also are responsible for the same solution. Yes, you are responsible. Now, moving forward to the following steps that I have pinpointed over here. Remember, when we try to mask the sun with our fingers, it will burn us because truth doesn't care who you are. You can be God, and it will hurt God if He were to do things contrary to what He said. Now, I'm not preaching, don't consider this religion, that is just a fact. If we talk about Jesus Christ from a literally productive historical point of view, we have to acknowledge one thing. He was real, and there's many productivity lessons from his life that I do not need to mix with religion. It's just a fact. He told the truth, he had an agenda, he fulfilled it, he was productive. He did not allow the clutter in his mind the problems on the outside or people gossiping about him to stop him from achieving his ultimate goal. Now, backtracking to the solutions steps that I was talking about. Now, it says over here, seek professional help, not necessarily from a doctor if it's not a disease, but from someone who overcame successfully that problem in specific, and evaluate if the values used go along with you. Be wary of false success stories. Judge carefully. This is for everyone because 80% of the internet before AI was a thing was already false information. Imagine now with AI that people use sloppy YouTube videos to make money or waste away their lives on social media because their life hurts so much that it's easier to run away into your cell phone, which I've been there before. In fact, last night, I was trying to write a talk and I was investigating on my phone, but I wandered off for a while. I finished, but that's not the point. The thing is, I know what depression feels like and how good it feels to use your cell phone to get over it. So, my suggestion is don't blame yourself. There is enough negativity on the outside to allow yourself to be another detractor of your own feelings. Acknowledge them, let them flow. And I'm not talking, let me stop for a moment. I'm not talking here for money or anything of the sort. I'm talking about myself in this case. People have classified me as hyperactive and what not other label they have found or invented for whatever reason, but they have never tried to genuinely help me. For example, the other day somebody was asking me how much money did I spend on my children's tuition. I wonder, because I wanted not to answer, how to politely decline that information. So what did I do? Although I was nice, at the end of the day I did disclose how much I paid for them, but I turned away the subject from the money because there are things that shouldn't be asked. For example, being honest with yourself. Will you classify yourself as an actual professional surf teacher just because you went one or two times? I wouldn't declare myself a pro at surfing if I managed to ride one wave in my life. Same things applies with finances. Will you actually tell someone that you earn X amount per month? What are they going to do with that? Just like my mentor told me, if you earn more money than I do, you wouldn't care how much I earn. But if you earned less money than I do, you would get upset because you are not the one getting that money. So it would be useless for the other person to actually know how much you're making. So take that into consideration when you want to actually achieve something in life. Sometimes answers are silence, and they are the best that you can give. Give respect to yourself. Don't let others trample upon your feelings. And if you have to be shameless enough, yes, if you have to be shameless enough to be careful with your own feelings, be. Because people don't actually care what you think, they only care what they want from you. So you gotta be wary of who you speak with, how you interact, and what type of information are you consuming on your phone, whether or not social media, whether or not you like to read or listen to an audio, whether or not you see Mr. Beast, which is the most productive, successful YouTuber on earth. But how did he start? Did you investigate how did he get where he's at? He didn't want to go to college. His mother gave him an ultimatum, or go to college or I kick you out of the house. What did he do? He created a plan. He started making YouTube videos on the car. He started getting track. And then he counted a specific number that I don't recall how much. But he did it and he got viral. Then he got his first ad and they wanted to pay him $5,000. Man, which of us have $5,000 laying in our bank account for nothing's sake? Of course, nobody. And if there is one, I'm pretty sure they would not misuse it because they painstakingly save that money. They have a purpose for it. Now, eventually, he achieved his goal. And now he is self reliant. He doesn't depend on anyone. He didn't have to go to college. He overcame himself because rather than sulking in his depression or realistic threat of being kicked out of his house, he actually created a plan that was able to allow him to move forward and to live life on his terms. Now, next, create a plan. If you know that to become, let's say, fit, lose 10 pounds, you need to talk with a fitness coach, with a specific doctor, learn about self nutrition, not just depend on others' opinions. Study, do your homework. I mean, would I care if I am your doctor and I need to give you a prescription for whatever, let's say a headache? I mean, you're spending money. Why not spend money on food that can actually make you feel better than to a doctor that you barely see? And that maybe through their attitude, you're just another money making person for them. And they need to keep a subscription from you with occasional in person coaching about your health, and that you need to do a lot of work every or so moments because they need to keep you checked. Now, what are you going to do on the matter? Are you going to leave your health in someone else's hands just because you don't want to do your part? At least ask the doctor what can or can you not eat to avoid certain things. So that's just a hypothetical case. I will construct a similar version, but for high school. Let's say you struggle with mathematics. I, although I am good at math, I'm not good at calculus in my university. So what did I do? Sadly, I had failed calculus 3 times before finally passing it with a C minus. Yes, it was not a good experience, but I finally did. How? What did I do? Attempt number one, I was cocky. I was selfish. I thought that I could do it. Life proved me wrong. Okay, I failed. Attempt number two. I was humble. I more or less had notions of the information that was going to be presented, but I did not get ready properly. I occasionally did my homework. I showed up always. I never missed a class, but I didn't actually seek help. Third time, I was desperate. I wanted to pass it, even with an absolute C minus, almost with a passing D grade, but I couldn't. I did look for a PhD doctor that for free taught me for a while, but it wasn't enough. I also looked for another doctor that gave me free private tuition on the matter. I couldn't understand how they explained me, so I failed the third time. I still remember more or less the D plus I got because I needed a C to pass. And then the fourth attempt, I was peace of mind. I went to my class. I already had the knowledge. Since I saw the information 4 times in the past, at that point I had basically 3 notebooks filled up with the information that I was being presented with. I was familiar with the terms. I passed. But I did not have a plan. I could have passed on the second attempt if I made a plan. If I intentionally looked out of the way on YouTube how to understand this or that subject. Do you think that derivatives and integrals are that easy? No, they're hard. And you're lucky that at least you don't have to see that in the university if you're not studying anything in math. So, creating a plan is vital for your success. Set the goal, divide the steps, investigate. Cloud AI, Gemini, Perplexity, ChatGPT, everything is in your hands. It is no longer as hard as before that you need to pay $200 to someone. YouTube is there. There's always somebody that knows more than you when you are on the internet looking for an answer to an actual problem you have. Read books. If you don't like reading, that's okay. Listen to the books. You don't have the money, find a way to get a summary or get the audio on YouTube. There are other platforms like Odyssey. I remember I did not have money either for the book Atomic Habits. Do you know how I read it? In audio, because I found a whole book more than 8 hours long on another website similar to YouTube. But I didn't have the money. What did I do have? The time. So I made an effort. I listened to it until I achieved it. So I got the information. Now I got to do something with it. Of course, in the future, when I have the money, I will buy the book in physical because I got to be honest. I don't like piracy. But if you don't have another way, what are you going to do? Die? No. Live. Your brain is already giving you negative thoughts enough. So we have to do something with what we have. And to be grateful when we are successful or we overcome the problem and we finally have some room to breathe. Okay, I can give myself the luxury of buying a $15 book on Amazon if I am already spending $100 or more on subscriptions that I don't use. Amazon Prime, Netflix, you name it. Or maybe buying a supplement or cosmetics for women or a lot of gym clothing for men or whatnot. How much do you spend on your car? Not on gas, not on maintenance, on luxury specs, hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars. So, what if you actually educate yourself and read a $12 book or listen to it? If you have the money, the only subscription I would buy would be Audible. Not because I'm promoting it, they are not paying me for that. It's because they have something called books in audio that you can learn in 4 months what is being taught to a PhD level student on the road. You need to drive to the grocery store, to go to Costco, Walmart, or any other place. While you're driving, if you have a car, put something productive, not just music that dulls your brain, which is okay for a while, but not forever. That's what I mean. Create a plan. Sticks to the steps you wrote. Now, this is more self explanatory, so I will move forward. Evaluate daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly how close you are to your goal and if you need to adjust your strategy. Sometimes we already have the solution, we just don't have the proper steps or actions embedded in it. That is why we need a life coach, someone that is already successful in what we are wanting to be and follow, criticize, judge that person. Not criticize negatively. Learn from their mistakes. Learn what they did good. Apply what you know that fits your bill and get the job done. Sometimes we don't need people to tell us what we already know. For example, most of what I'm saying, you already know it. But what you can do with it is do something with your life, not letting someone else decide or think for you. That is the masses. You don't want to be of the masses. The minimum you want to be is earn $10,000 in your house. So per month. But what are you doing to deserve it? I mean, you might deserve it, but are you working towards it? Do you have a job that actually pays $10,000 a month that can at least help you live and eat properly? Because it's not about the money. People get distracted when they set a goal. Oh, I want to earn $10,000 a month. Why? Are you gonna buy a sports car, waste it away, get drunk, waste it on women, go to? I mean, what purpose do you have? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a proper car? Not necessarily last model, $40,000 down payment with a monthly fee that is almost as expensive as putting gas on. No, you have to be conscious of what you need to do with your life. So this is my suggestion. That is why you need to evaluate daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly your steps. in order to achieve something with your life. Now, you need to remember one thing. When you create your plan, set up your goals, and follow the steps, there will always be obstacles, setbacks. Your mind will play you tricks. You don't need an outside source to criticize you. You are enough for that. Your biggest enemy is not someone else, it is you. So remember that. Simplify your steps. You don't have to try to walk to the moon from Earth without a rocket. You just need to remember that if you invest in Tesla, you are technically reaching the moon. That is a figure of speech. What I mean for that is if you already have a goal in mind, a vision, and you're walking, don't expect that one step will get you to the final goal. One step will get you to the second, and eventually to the 10,000th step, which is the end goal. And enjoy every step of the way, even with the ups and downs. That is what builds character. Now, continue with the be accountable. Create the bulletproof solutions against yourself. You are the worst enemy. You are your biggest help you can get. People delegate their lives to someone else for their success. That's why they fail. People think that going to college and doing nothing is enough. People think that not learning how to speak at a job interview is not enough. People think that connection are worthless, and people actually are, in a bad way, clever to create connections owing favors to earn job positions. Do you think that's ethical, moral even? I'm not gonna judge you, but I don't want to be owing someone in power when I start getting some success in my life if I can do it on my own, honestly. And now with the AI rejecting CVs, it's becoming even harder not to choose an easier route than integrity. Because, yeah, if you're here and you're trying to learn how to, I don't know, get away with something bad to earn money as legit as possible, that's not me. What I suggest is be accountable with yourself, achieve your goals because I believe in you, even if you don't believe in yourself. I remember being a teacher of English, and there were students that told me, "Teacher, but I don't believe in myself." And I told them, "I don't need you to believe in yourself. I believe in you, and that is enough for you to learn English." Those were the top students because I blocked away from their minds the thought that they couldn't learn English. I literally told them, "Let me wash your brain and teach you English to such a degree that you will love it." So when they believe in me, even if they didn't believe in themselves, I blocked away their doubts and they achieved what they needed. They learned English and they are economically successful, even more than I was, because some of them got to manager positions. But they didn't know they had it in them until I told them, "I believe in you, even if you don't believe in yourself." Enjoy the road, not just the end and die. Enjoy the road, and at the end, live. I like to do a lot of analogies, but this one is the most common one. Guy will actually know what I'm talking about. This is a symbol on real life. If you've seen anime, usually the protagonist on any given righteous path overcomes hurdles, bullyings, and even their own doubts. What do you think that they do to achieve their ultimate goal? Let me set up an example, the most famous example of all. And you know who I'm talking about. Yes, Akira Toriyama. When Akira Toriyama created his anime, Dragon Ball, He basically was already successful at creating anything, but he went with the Dragon Ball theme. He spent decades building up that success. That is a multi-billion-dollar up to this day business. And he started it because he believed in himself. And Dragon Ball wasn't his best work at the time. He had a better one, yeah, before. It was called Akira. And that is what invented the anime industry. So if you think about it, when he achieved his goal, it wasn't because he was letting someone else decide for him. He already believed in him and he put in the work. If you do that, nothing can stop you, not even yourself. Because the momentum you built to achieve actual success will keep you going, especially when you no longer have enough strength, which is a trial that arrives to every one of us every time. So remember, even if you don't believe in yourself, I believe in you. It might sound fancy, but at least some positivity in your life, optimism, needs to be delivered every day to your soul. So don't beat yourself up as much. You are special. The last part, celebrate properly after achieving or exceeding your goal. You don't need to jump from a bungee for reaching the line. Sometimes, through this, we want to be reckless at success. When we finally make the $100,000 deal, when we start earning $10,000, we don't think, let me save money. Let me be modest with my spending. No, let's be extravagant. I'm gonna buy a $20,000 car in one payment, even if I don't have the money. You know what I'm talking about? You just build something to have your foot on with success. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. You have to remember, success is not about looking successful. Success is about being truly happy with what you achieve. So, if you achieve the $10,000 salary per month, if you achieve the $100,000 sale that earned you a huge commission, don't waste it. Be responsible and enjoy it properly. And lastly, a bonus. I did say 10, but I had a new one. Set a new goal and don't wait for the problem to show up. Everyone has those. For new, very few people know what is going on with their lives after they achieve a goal or resolve a problem. So, these 33 minutes I've been speaking, the summary is the following. If you have a problem, create a plan, find a solution, apply it, get coaching on the matter from an actual professional that succeeded in that. And secondly, don't give up. If you fail once, stand up once. And forget about the second time. You stand up the second time if you fail twice. And on a side note, don't forget that you have the power. Remember that. You are made to be king and queen. That is my lift today. I'll try my best to get tomorrow to continue on the matter because consistency matters more than a one time success. See you in the evening. Be 100%.